showing y'all. Okay, I'm gonna show y'all these two. I ain't showing you the other ones. FedEx package from Tron Market was delivered. No shit. Expensive motherfuckers too. Thank you. Ooh, I can't wait to read. I got so many damn books to read. Shit, what is rubbish? Alexander, where you at, man? Usually when I'm opening a package, you be right there on my ass, like, no, what you got? Hold on, let me unplug this shit. I'm so tired of it. You know I gotta do this. I gotta do this. I got some more book dance. Y'all just don't see when I got the book dance. You know what I'm saying? When I got the books, I'll be just juking on them. got the books, got the books, got the books, motherfuckers, got the books, got the books, got the books, motherfuckers. Excuse my language. Old man like me. 2 back surgeries, knee surgery, mouth surgery. Okay. See, I didn't brush my teeth this morning. So the tint you see, I take coconut oil, no citrus, coconut oil, and 2 tablespoons of turmeric, teaspoons, and I make this ball and I put it around my gums. So you see the tinge of the turmeric and the coconut oil preparing, making my teeth not sensitive. So excuse me. I know you look like the old time. Ah, shut up. My teeth look good. You know what I mean? How y'all doing? Come on down here. We're in Georgia, right? I had to give me some berry fresh, blackberries. And you can't have none. Your ass be done shit everywhere. Let's go ahead and give it a few more minutes. Music down a little bit. Why did it do that? Okay. Because of my stupid ass. Alright, let me take me a bite of my sandwich. I am starving, y'all. After 4 o'clock. That was the first thing I haven't eaten my canelo. My apologies, but I gotta eat. Y'all talking about Thanksgiving and all that shit. Man, this right here is the bomb. Maybe it's because I'm just hungry. I don't know. It just ain't right. Oh yeah, if you be my woman or woman's, y'all know a nigga like me eat. A brother like me eat when I eat. Told you I like them green. Why? Less carbs, more potassium. I'm waiting for them to get the regular little tiny bananas with the big seeds in. That's how I like it. When you peel it like that, it ain't all soft and yellow. And I don't make bread pudding no more, so. Yes, y'all watching me eat. Just hold on. Green. I'm trying to tell you something. You want to talk about alkaline? A balance? Oh my God, no. What is wrong with you? Stuff like this? Know the difference. Why you want to call when I'm going live? Yeah, I'm live right now. My baby girl. You know what I mean. I love all my sisters. All the women in my life. Every one of them. And the thing about it is Susanna, you retarded. I love all my people, man. I really do. I like to have a good relationship with all of them. You know what's funny? You only have issues with family members, and me being the oldest, and could bust everybody's ass. You would think they'd be smart, but it's not that they have an issue with me. I have an issue with them because they don't want to wise the fuck up. So I cut them loose. Yeah, I can see it on there. That's masked up Ganeo. Anyway, this is the way. Gut health. This is the way. Don't want a lot of sugar. This is the way. Now you know, even with organic bananas, usually the regular ones, they say they don't with this, but they use gasoline to ripe them fast. I always say let them be green. You put them in a brown paper bag for about 2 days. The gases and the oils secretion will ripen them fast enough, 24 to 48 hours. Don't over ripen them. So, you know. That's how you see them green spots? Gas spots from gasoline. I'm serious, y'all. So delicious. Phenomenal. Now, can you take these and plant these and grow these? Let me show you. The seeds are tiny. No. The seeds of these are supposed to be almost as big as your pinky now. Any of y'all ever had any real bananas? That's what your government's doing to you and for you. We're gonna get into this reading because I know y'all want to hear this next. It's getting juicy. And I ain't said, look, we still gotta, we're gonna get started here. All right, let me finish this Ganeo. It is so good, y'all. And put some cinnamon on it. For you people with high blood pressure, trust me, potassium and cinnamon on citrus fruit. Not grapefruit. But you eat grapefruit. As long as you're not taking an NSAID and NSAID. This is so good. Or something, thyroid medication. Don't eat grapefruit. Oh my goodness. This is perfect. Not sweet. Oh, a hint of sweetness. It's tart, bitter, the way food's supposed to be. Right. I'm glad y'all here. I wanted to share that with you. I figured y'all like, yes, that is, but Behold the Pale Horse by Mr. Cooper himself. William Cooper. You know, they murdered him. A fake shootout with some agents. They say the police, blah, blah, blah. No, he knew they were coming to kill him. And he fought back. Every story they tell is a fucking lie. Thank goodness people are paying attention. All right. One more bite of this scammage. The scammage. No, it's not real. Tofu. Well, it's not tofu, but it's like tofu turkey, but it's Quran. Not made with tofu. Do not eat tofu. Well, I'll bite you in the ass cheek, girl. You think a goddamn badger jumped up and bit you. Talking about he love me. All right. All right. I got you. Hey, Al, where you go, man? Al. Alexander. Where you at, partner? Okay. Let's do this. I was starving, y'all. Hungry. All right. Bring the school closer. Terra Infinita, extraterrestrial worlds and the civilizations. The story as told by the woman who was born in the lands behind the ice walls by Claudia Nocelli. No confounding. No confusion. What does it mean? I believe don't be confused. All right. Chapter 26, The Continuing Journey of William Morris. Yesterday, The last resets in the known lands. We went over that. We covered that up. It's pretty good. So let's go ahead and get into this continuing journey of William Morris. My father returned to these lands, to the lands where he was born. He longed day after day, planning over and over again how he could return to help those he considered he had left behind. His brothers, as he referred to them, knowing this great and painful truth was killing him every day. Imagine knowing that your brothers were dying in a veritable hell of wars, manipulation, and pestilence. Are we not dealing with that? And that nothing you could do on the other side, where your life was also in danger, for by then the keepers had begun to attack the lands beyond, which until that time had been kept silent. Not only that, but the custodians had encountered a great city of giants and giant humans. Giant humans, that's right, y'all. Who were not only traitors to them, and therefore deserving of the worst punishment. By all accounts, the Anunnaki did not decide to take part in these attacks, and the custodians were quickly expelled from my lands. The technology by then quite advanced, thanks again to the help of the Anakin. This surprised the custodians, who returned to the known lands with the fear of the possibility of losing them. They then tried to reinforce the walls with all the technology and military possible. A time of ridiculous treaties and military bases all over the area was coming to prevent any human being from being able to reach this truth. Now, was that enough to prevent our ships from getting through their base? You see, there's all kind of militaries in the Arctic. You know that, right? Chapter 27, the infiltrators double. So do the problems. When they least expected it, the custodians had in their most precious colony around 14,000 infiltrated ancestors. This network we created was part of the Morris Butler plan, together with giant leaders and several races that also participated and still participate in silence for human liberation. You saw that thing where a guy filmed a giant walking up over there in was it Alaska or wherever on that mountain? You know that he was stalked and messed with by certain and they murdered him, found dead. We knew the danger of infiltration. We knew the danger of infiltrating these lands, as the custodians could never know what this amount was that this amount was infiltrated. Fucking the hell, man. He is funny. My little man got more 1,000 times more energy than me. Well, of course. Excuse me. Okay, let's go ahead and get that over. This is chapter 27. When they least expected it, the custodians had their most. He's over there playing in the frigging blinds. Precious colony around 14,000 infiltrated ancestors. This network we created was part of the Morris Butler plan, together with giant leaders and several races that also participated and still participate in silence for human liberation. We knew the danger of infiltrating these lands, as the custodians could never know that this amount was infiltrated. Helping and informing many humans about the other worlds, the spiritual potential, and the true human history. This could cause an immediate reset. Everything was delicate and we could not be noticed in a treacherous way. At the beginning, it was not a big problem to overcome the barriers. Military bases, custodial technology, in parentheses it states, with radars that even cause earthquakes, and a myriad of obstacles that we knew how to overcome. But not everything was happiness, and we knew that sooner or later it would come. It could happen. An alarm went off, in parentheses, an earthquake, near what you know as Antarctic Peninsula, or we know as false Antarctica. A group of people traveling from the ancestral republic encountered a military base patrolling the area in an icebreaker. Our people sank the ship when they tried to escape, and this irremediably, 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 Jesus, echoed in the great spears. They began to chase everyone in every corner you can imagine. With great lies and excuses, they went into homes in many countries where they feared we were hiding for 10 years or more. They searched for every clue and began to use technology to control the movements of the new humanity. Are you paying attention to that? God damn it, I ain't know. I should have looked, right? That was probably cool reading off to the side like that. Anyway, excuse me. I want to write about humanity. Although they already had this type of technology, they completely reinforced it after the Peninsula incident. All this complicated the plan, and it was a complete setback since we had people infiltrated in the high spheres. Politics, lodges, organizations, companies, and universities, etc. This was a bit of an ice water bucket since we had been counteracting with our technology and custodial detection, and a great advance was being made to be able to finally carry out in a timely manner the transfer of many of the people who were beginning to awaken. Many of the 14,000 had to return, and the fear was already a reality, and some ancestors died in the worst, in the worst possible way, as they were sentenced as traitors. I will not detail the many tortures they suffered. Captain Butler returned to our lands in solitude. I will never forget that day, my eyes filled with tears, because it was the day I knew I would never embrace my father again. It's Dwayne Butter. So a lot of times when you hear narratives and you see people standing in firing squads and they're all docile and calm, who are they really? Chapter 28, The Death of William Morris. And he's the one in the first book. Butler approached my mother and me, crestfallen, and his eyes in blood. He was also wounded in an arm and a leg. Those 10 or 15 meters were the most eternal of my life. When he was finally close to us, he looked up and could not hold back his tears. My father had died in the known lands, at the hands of custodial military technology, near the Antarctic zone. The custodians had delivered to 2 commandos and a military leader of certain countries advanced technology that they did not even know how to use. This was extremely dangerous for all. Life within the walled lands, in fact, the custodians knew very well that this was a big mistake and put at risk their own colony. I think that although they were experienced in war, they did not handle well that a race could overcome them or the danger that entailed losing those lands. They mistakenly decided to give technology unknown to the new humanity, only to help them in quantity against the ancestors who were returning to their lands. In parentheses, it states many humans were also doing so with them. And the humans were also given knowledge of weather modification and environmental manipulation. The custodians really went into despair. Now the ship, in parentheses, iron blue, triangular, where my father was traveling along with some ancestors and humans of the new reset disintegrated in mid-air while crossing the Antarctic skies. A large invisible barrier was created by the custodians just before the dome. Of course, this was not known at the time, and many ships were destroyed. To put it simply, they blocked the part of the dome that we had opened by air. But Butler was returning with William in another ship and told in detail about the death of my father. Butler managed to survive by a miracle. It was undoubtedly the worst moment of my life, and I really felt a lot of frustration and helplessness towards these lands. At that moment, I lost track of custodians and new humanity. I only thought about if it was really worth my father dying for a cause that seemed lost from the beginning. With time, I understood, and now I understand. I feel it in my heart. I am also part of these lands, and I know that my father wanted as much as I do now that humanity is freed forever. And we have one or two more chapters, and we'll get into that. Turning the human farm into an eternal theme. The statement that goes with that. Okay. Heaven Barris, all right. The Great Reset of 1834 and the Mud Flood, Janine Helen. And y'all know that's her, South Africa. Okay. The Great Reset of 1834 and the Mud Flood. This is good. This story is like, it's good to go. Let's see how much I read of this. Oh my goodness. Right. Here we go. Okay. Her palms facing him and she screams out loud as she can. Anyway, she turns around because when we finished off yesterday, her fear in every drop of sweat that runs down her face and arm and her and arms, and he can't wait to taste it. And that's when she was, when so and so had popped up. Mr. Tall. You remember that? Mr. Tall? Mr. Dark? She turns around thinking he is there, but there is just darkness all around her. She turns back around, and he is suddenly standing there grinning from ear to ear. His eyes are red with bloodlust, and in his hand, he is clutching a silver and gold pocket knife. He charges at her with the knife pointed at her chest, and time stands still, giving her enough time to react and take a step away from him. Check this out. She puts her hands up in the air with her palms facing him, and she screams out as loud as she can. Remember I said how important it is to keep the women powerful? And the women keep the men. The women are going to be powerful anyway. The men keep them protected so they can acclimate to their power because they are what make us powerful. Her eyes flash gold briefly, and the cobblestones start to vibrate next to each other. A blue energy emits from her hands, and she can feel him fight her. She stands her ground, and her whole body begins to light up with the same blue energy. The ground starts to vibrate harder, and the knife in his hand crumbles into powder and falls to the ground. She closes her eyes and imagines pushing him away, and when she opens them again, she sees that he is slumped over. Powerful. On his knees. He is slowly turning into dust, just like the knife did. And what is left of him blows away. Clint Eastwood, like a turd, just dry up in the sun and blows away. Left of him blows away with a slight breeze. She stands there with her adrenaline pumping and watches him disappear before her eyes. She is astounded by what she has just witnessed, but knows she needs to keep moving ahead. All that remains are his clothes and those shiny black shoes. She starts to shake. What are these things going inside of me? She still believes they're her twins. By the Venetian. Chapter 11. I couldn't wait to get to this part. Malcolm walks back to the hotel, and he can't help but regret taking her with him to New York. He is angry, excuse me guys, and starts to blame himself for what happened. He shakes his head and realizes she would be dead if he hadn't taken her with and kept her close. The man in the top hat would have found her there alone and killed her. He wonders why it took Azrael so long to be sure about who she is. Why kill her now? He runs his fingers down his face, and he wants to punch a wall out of frustration. How did Azrael know about her? He himself admitted he thought she was dead, which means he wasn't even out looking for her. Neither Bonnie, nor he knew who she really was. Someone must have tipped him off. But who? He wonders. He can hear laughter, and it snaps him back to reality. I need to get back to the hotel, he tells himself, and hurries back. He stops in the lobby at the sight of her, and Aurora is standing there waiting for him, and her face is filled with sorrow. What is going on? Does something happen to Rune? He knows something terrible happened and immediately walks up to her. She she sheds a single tear and wipes it away and regains her cold demeanor. Here goes badass, huh? She clears her throat and her eyes turn cold. He is dead, motherfucker. No, I mean, he is dead. That's all it says. Her voice is loud, but he can only hear a slight whisper leave her perfect red lips. So she said it like this: he is dead. I love that. Malcolm is assured that he heard what she said. He takes her by the arm, and he better be careful, and walks with her to the side of the room and leans her up against the wall. What did you just say? This time her voice is mean and cruel. He is dead, Malcolm. Mother, God. Azrael was waiting for us when we got home. Let's see, that's if it was a brother and sister, right? We were no match for him. You know that? She is angry. She loved Rune in her own cold way. Her eyes scan his face. He is pale with shock. His forehead is frowning and his hands are balled into fists. Malcolm, there's nothing you can do about it. She stops mid-sentence and realizes Bonnie isn't with him. Where's Bonnie? I'm ad-libbing. Please tell me he didn't get to her too. I don't know. I told her to run. He stares into her eyes and they go purple. He allows her to read his mind, including all of his memories, thoughts, wants, and needs, which he has never before done, and she understands what is happening. What did Rune know? He proceeds to ask her. She shakes her head. Nothing. Nothing that I know about. I told the girl to head to Edmonton, and if she really has these powers, she will make it. She will know what to do when she gets there. But I will try to get word out. Malcolm grabs her by the neck in a sudden rage. What did you just say? He pauses and tightens his grip and watches the fear grow in her eyes. Try get word out. He lets go of her and takes a step back, and he knows she is a traitor. You are working for the resistance? He can't believe what he is hearing. How could she betray Rune like that? He feels a rage enter him, and he wants to kill her, and she knows it. You will thank me one day, Malcolm. I know you love her, and perhaps your love for her will save us all. She walks away, knowing this will be the last thing she will say ever, and say to him. Malcolm stares at the wall in front of him, and it feels like his whole world is collapsing all around him. He starts to punch the wall as hard as he can, hoping he will feel something other than the pain he is feeling in that moment. He eventually stops and looks at the wall. There are bricks that are missing, and the skin on his hands is gone, exposing bone and raw flesh. Aurora needs to figure out what Rune was up to or what he knew. He had no idea that she was feeding the resistance information. At least she doesn't think so. Azrael must have known about the resistance somehow, and perhaps assumed it was Rune who was betraying him. Questionable. She can feel death in the air, and she knows she doesn't have long until she will join Rune in the canopy of the Tree of Life. T? She thinks about seeing him up there, and she isn't afraid. They will be at peace, and most importantly, they will be able to spend all of eternity together. She walks into Rune's office and starts to ruffle through his files, only to notice that there are many lying on the floor already, and she knows Azrael has already found what he was looking for. The room gets ice cold, and she can feel her heart turn rock hard, and she falls, head first, into the file cabinet in front of her, and she closes her eyes. Malcolm, meanwhile, walks back into his room and paces up and down. He isn't sure what to do next. He wants to find her, but he knows he can't protect her. Not from Azrael, who just killed what's her name. And he sits down on the bed and takes a swig of his whiskey and decides to play along and go back to Montreal. As instructed, he is no use to her dead, and he knows it.
Now, Bonnie finds her way to the train station and decides to book a ticket to Edmonton, or at least to a city close by. Except she realizes she has no money with her. They will be waiting for her at the train station. She tells herself, and she isn't sure what to do next. She sits down about 100 meters from the entrance and waits there until she figures out what to do. In the meantime, she just watches the people hurry in and out and can't help but think that they look like the ants she used to watch at the funneling home. They have no real purpose other than to run around all day doing menial tasks. Sounds familiar, people? Are you all right, miss? A male voice startles her and she looks up at him from where she is sitting. There's an elderly Tartarian man and his wife standing with their dog. Bonnie has never seen Tartarians this old before, and she stares at them awkwardly for a minute. She catches herself and realizes they are staring awkwardly back at her. Her dress is covered in red wine, and she must look horrible. She did not have a terrible night, and she grins coyly. Malcolm? She suddenly wonders what has happened to him, but she can somehow feel that he is unharmed, and she knows she needs to carry on with her journey. She explains to the elderly couple that she lost her purse and is on her way to Edmonton to be with her husband, but it isn't sure how to get there without any money. We are headed in that direction, hon. We are happy to have you travel with us, if you would like. Now he asks, and she stares at him, trying to establish his true intentions. His face is wrinkled from the sun, and he looks like he has had a hard life. Thank you. That is very kind of you, sir. She is surprised that they didn't question her story at all. She would have, had she been in their position. Let's finish these two, and we'll get on to the next one. She walks with them to their horse and carriage and climbs in next to his wife. She knows this will be a very long trip, but no one will find her this way, and it is her best chance at getting to Edmonton alive. Where exactly are the two of you headed? She asks politely and quickly fixes her hair. Quebec City, Quebec. His voice is relaxed and he looks straight ahead. No, but that is in the opposite direction to Edmonton. I need to go to Edmonton. She gets up, wanting to get out. Quebec City is a big city. It will be easier for you to get to Edmonton that way. Trust me. He gives her a soft smile and places his hand on hers. Time to get some rest, dear. It has been quite an evening for you, hasn't it?
This one, I could just read this whole damn book right now. I could just do a 5, 6 hours. It would take me that long to read all that right there. Y'all, and it gets banging. You hear me? All right, let's get into our boy Howdy Mikowski. Yes, exposing the expositions of 1851 1950, Barrage 2021, and we've been going through Chicago quite a bit. That's Chicago, people. Don't get it twisted. You know they had to get rid of that Aborigine in there, right? Once the Civil War was done, then they went on this murderous campaign with all these fucktards getting off the boat coming here. It's so damn good. All right, here we go. All right. Good. Okay. Everyone's still talking. I mean, I got a habit of that. Mouthful. All right. Again, this is Exposing the Expositions of 1851, 1950, Revised 2021, which the original was 2019. I looked at the PDF. I'm not going to get it. Or Howdy Mikowski. I actually had one, but it wasn't the same thing. I think it was like a small paper. I knew how to get this book. All right, so the agricultural hall was built in the style of the Renaissance and was 500 by 850 feet. On each side of the entrance were 50-foot statues, right? High arcs, Corinthian pillars, excuse me. A 100-foot rotunda was covered by a 130-foot high glass dome. What
Them niggas, motherfuckers didn't know how to make that. It housed exhibits of agriculture, forestry, dairy, and livestock, and included amphitheaters, lecture halls, and a dairy school. The machinery hall, in image 2, I'll show you that here in a minute, was filled with giant towers, beautiful columns, and a view over the. Is that what it is? No, image 2. What is that? Place of Fine Arts. I think I had to go to that call and pull that up. Yeah, I wanted to see the picture and show you guys right quick. Well, anyway, it's not there. Anyway, was filled with giant towers, beautiful columns, and a view over the canal. Oh, I know where it's at. It mirrored the style of the Spanish Renaissance and had a size at 500 by 1,350 feet, which covered 17 acres. Inside was nearly every kind of machine imaginable. The problem was that with the machines running all the time, it was just too loud for anyone to be inside the building. And that included the people that were supposed to be in there working then. The horticultural building was 1,000 feet long and faced the lagoon. The center pavilion was roofed by a crystal dome 187 feet in diameter and 11 feet high to have space for the large trees and palms that the building and the fair served palms that the building displayed, At each end of the building were cafes, in parentheses, which, like the rest of the fair, served very overpriced food and drink. And the fish and fisheries building was 1,100 feet long and exhibited all that one could imagine of the fish industry, including the first great aquarium, totaling 14,000 gallons of water, where people could see fish, sharks, and the likes up close for the first time. That nobody from Europe, nowhere, anywhere, know how to make an aquarium that damn big in that time. The government building behind the wooded islands. Let me show you this. We're looking at the other side. This is Chicago, people. That's a real picture. Let me show you what I believe to be. What was that? This is a manufacturing building, which I showed y'all yesterday. That big mother sucker there. Unbelievable, man. They just steal some shit. Dryer. Okay? But there was far more. The government building was also massive, made to look like a copy of the Capitol in Washington. A copy. Isn't it funny how every state has one? Cuba, Haiti, Jamaica, everywhere there is one. And they're all pretty much built kind of the same spec. Canada, Greenland, Iceland, Russia, Prague, Italy, Rome, you want to say that? Mallorca, Palma, Spain, Singapore, Japan. Do I need to carry on? The government building was also massive, made to look like a copy of the Capitol in Washington. It was 350 by 420 feet. A central octagonal dome, 120 feet in diameter and 100 feet high, stood at the middle. To give you a sample of just how much each and every one of these buildings contain, if I were to list from Bancroft's book every exhibit in just this one building, it would take me 20 pages. The transportation building was 960 by 2 feet by 250 feet, with the interior modeled after a Roman basilica. 3 sections of the building displayed railroads, shipping, and vehicle exhibits. Vehicle exhibits. You hear me? There was an entire section just for bicycles. 8 elevators could take people to the top of the 160-foot high dome for views of the fairgrounds, because it is always wise to place several elevators in a temporary building made of wood and plastic. The entrance to the building was through a giant golden door that was more than symbolic. The woman's building was 400 feet long and included a rotunda with a giant skylight, surrounded by a 2-story open arcade giving the appearance of an Italian Renaissance courtyard. This building could only display objects, paintings, sculptures, or writings that were created by women. In parentheses, it states, are in the case of textiles only for women. And opposite the machinery, that sounds like something we would do. The machinery hall, and in the center of the Grand Plaza was the administration building with a statue of Columbus at the entrance. You know that was put there new. A lie. A central rotunda rose its gilded dome to a height of 275 feet. What the? Above the ground, and somewhat resembled the dome of the Invalides in Paris. The Invalides in Paris. Electricity was a major part of the fair. Excuse me. There was a war to see who would gain the electricity rights between General Electric Company, backed by Thomas Edison and J.P. Morgan, go figure, in parentheses, and Westinghouse, using Nikola Tesla's alternating current system, in parentheses. Westinghouse won out, but not with bitter feelings between the two. They both tried to ban the other's products from use at the fair. Tesla was considered a mad scientist, but that is only because he may have fully understood the ancient way of generating and using power. In parentheses, it states, used in all the medieval structures. And in the center of the building, and forming a part of the exhibits of the General Electric Company, was the Edison Tower. Now, in parentheses, the Tower of Light. We know that's not what the fuck it was. End of parentheses. With thousands of miniature lamps arranged in crystal, it would be like a forerunner to the main building 20 years later at the 1950 San Francisco Fair, Tower of Jewels. Look that picture up. You can Google it. Along with the electrical displays were Thomas Edison's I want to say kaleidoscope, but it's kinestoscope, searchlights, and a seismograph, switchboard, electric incubators for chicken eggs, and Morse code telegraph. I told you that electric should play a lot of healing and even birth delivery. One of Tesla's many exhibits was called the Egg of Columbus, a metal egg that spun on a disc to demonstrate a rotating magnetic field, which is pure bullshit. Okay? And the electrical building was the only one at the fair, in parentheses, along with the machinery building and with giant towers around it. The first question is why? Many of the fair buildings have domes, but only the electrical and machinery buildings had towers because they generated at 8.5 megahertz and the right frequencies, the right copper and gold. You create energy right out of the air, just like you can create a shield right out of the air. I shouldn't have said that. Anyway, I think many researchers have it correct. Towers and domes are an integral part of the ancient system of creating free energy from the atmosphere. It is possible that the electrical building was not just a place to house all the electrical exhibits, but was in fact an energy generating power station on its own. Was it Turkey or was it Greece? We were up in this mountain and it was at nighttime, and we could see a hint of what we've known as the Northern Lights because of where we were looking from. You couldn't see the whole thing. It's not like you're over there underneath what you call it, where you can see it very directly. But at that time, it was called a long arm of it. And they were putting their hands up in the air. And I shared a video because I told a lot of people about it, and they was like, bullshit. So somebody shared a video too because they heard me talking about when I did it. We put our hand into the air in the moisture, and it's kind of humid, and it would be electricity dancing off your fingertips. Your hair would stand up. Not no lightning. It was just everybody would put their hand up, and this electricity, you're grounded, dancing on your fingertips. I think it was in Greece, the highest peak over there. Where was that? Oh, I've got to do some pretty interesting things. We'll get the other two. I am going to come back. I can't wait to read these two. Now, there's a lot of these before this, all right? And I'm going to read the Book of America because I'm reading that one, y'all. Not Out of Africa. How Afrocentrism became an excuse to teach myth as not out of Africa. how Afrocentrism became an excuse to teach myth as history. Mary Lefkowitz. Thank you, my good little Jewish sister. Not playing, y'all. We not playing, y'all. I wish one of these old goofballs would come. Not knowing that I'm a reader. I'm a reader. Some people say you was a scholar. No, I went to college and all that, but I'm a reader. Let me give a shout out to everybody. I appreciate everybody coming in here. I said I was going to read. I'm going to come back and read. Trust me, I ain't going nowhere to be. I got more. I'm surprised. I still got more shit coming because this is the stuff that I ordered back then. APJR, Rip Floyd, Kimberly Latrice Allen, hey, Rondo, West Side, Original Lone Wolf, Great Wolf. And this is a lot of what they hide from us. Exactly. Actually, they hid it, but it's for us to find it. We got the Joker and the Riddler, right? I'm just being sloppy. Oops. That's so good. When you hungry, man, oh my God. Women love to see me because I be eating, I be like, and I just be in love with the food, and I be like, I got a little more. Well, yeah. All the information is there. It's not like we don't know. Some don't. But then those who do, you have those who are going to burglarize the system. Look at Tariq Nasheed's punk ass. People don't want to see things for what it is. I'm all about coming together, but none of the guys are some bullshit. And most of them people ain't no good. They don't know the first thing about being good. All right? But we're going to get there. And we're going to get there together. All right? You know it's nothing but love, everybody. For the beautiful ladies and sisters, y'all are. To the gentlemen, my brothers. I'm going to sign off because I'm about to get elbow deep in the rest of that stew and this damn sandwich. Yeah, I might even take a 45-minute nap. We can do that. It's beneficial. Keep some bags away. I'll catch up with y'all later. Share this too, and I appreciate everybody taking the time to listen, all right? Share this with your family. Sit them down. Hey, I want y'all to check this out. Listen to the stories telling. I hope my reading was well. I believe it'll get better because I used to read a lot for the Women's Book Club. And I didn't read for a long time, all right? So tapping back in. Y'all have a grand evening. And enjoy this fictional Friday. Make the best of it.